rhythm and I step up on my way. Hey, my toes start tapping as I take off down the street. I let my heart start pounding like a rockin' Marciano speed. I had my head start spinning like a schoolboy just been kissed. Step up, baby, we're gonna have a time. Let's have a time! Step back, baby, gonna have a time. Step back, baby, gonna have a time. Step back, baby, gonna have a time. Step back, baby, gonna have a time.
Hey gang, welcome back. It's episode 2 of Having a Time with Jittery Jack. That's me, Jittery Jack, and this is my TV show. Like I told you last month, we were going to be heading out to the New England Shakeup in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. This episode is going to feature tons of great footage from there, some shots of the band, some live footage, some interviews, just general good times were had. So many good times, in fact, that I'm glad I had the camera because after watching it afterwards, boy, I only remember half of it. We got some great interviews this month. A couple great people we sat down with and chatted with out of the New England Shakeup. You're going to see in just a couple of minutes the lovely Kay Marie from California. What a talent this gal is. I mean, A, she's a knockout, but she sings like Patsy Cline, and she's the future right there. So I was real happy to get a chance to sit down and talk to her and catch a little of her set. So with no further ado, you know the rules. Let's have a drink and let's have a time. Let's go to the New England Shakeup.
I got a head full of rocks, a heart made of steel. A left shot's like you let you in. Got my mind set on closing the deal. Well, I ain't crazy, baby, that's how I feel. I wanna rock. It's all over town. You've been sneaking kisses when you're daddy around. And I'm just trying to pretend. Cause if you go out back, you ain't coming back. You're up to your own sense again. This book, you know, I think you know, has got to be your game. You're undecided. What are you going to do?
Right now in the New England Shakeup, we are fucking having a goddamn good time.
Jeff, look behind you. This man is in pajamas.
You are sexy as hell. You know that is?
Glad you. name's Eddie McIntosh. I'm the Garner Hearts Trio. This is our second time playing the New England Shakeup. My opinion, this is actually the best weekend they're going. The music is right. It is more traditional laden than a lot of the stuff going on. Just happy to be a part of it.
Did you guys have a good time at the New England Shakeup?
Oh, the New England Shakeup was great. Woo! Had a great time. First time here. First time here. We loved it, man. Great bands, great show, great cars, great vendors. Everything here was awesome.
And everyone's very pleasant.
Yeah. I hope they have us back.
Hi, I'm Chuck. I'm a guitar player for Diablo Gato. We're at the New England Shakeup. This is my lovely fiancée, Elizabeth.
Hi.
Hey, Elizabeth. Did you guys have a good time at the New England Shakeup?
We had an excellent time. We hosted the car show on Saturday.
Very good times, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So everyone out there in the world needs to know that they need to be here next year, right?
Yes, yeah. I believe we're going to be doing it again next year, too.
Killer.
So, yeah, bring out some sweet cars.
Beautiful.
When your fickle love gets old, no one will care for you. You come back to me for a little love that's true. I'll tell you no, and when you ask me why? Well, I remind you of all these you're gonna cry. You're gonna...
New shop just opened on 273 East 10th Street, New York City, East Village, right by Tompkins Square Park. Very famous for the punk rock riots in the early 80s. It's a custom tattoo studio. Anything you want, we can tattoo on you. Anything you don't want, we can tattoo on you.
See the future, you press instinctively. They say that money can't buy love, but I pay dearly.
Hello, I'm Jason Bland with www.eastcoastrockabillycentral.com, and I am here enjoying the New England Shakeup.
And who are you sitting next to?
Oh, this is Kay Marie.
Hey! Say, here we are at the New England Shakeup, hanging out with the lovely Kay Marie and Kevin, all the way from the West Coast. Are you having a good time at the New England Shakeup?
Yes, indeed.
Cool, cool. Well, your set was killer last night. I loved it. I played with you, what, a couple years ago? We played in Seattle together?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this chick's going to be a star. And I saw you in Vegas last year, and I was like, look at her go. Like, Kevin's on the bass. You had, you know, Joe and Ashley Kingman on guitar, and I was like, all right, she's got some heavy hitters now, and she's arrived, you know. And then, of course, I see you here, and it was fantastic. So,
thank you.
So you guys have had a good time?
And yes, it's been wonderful. It's our first time ever on the East Coast, and it's just been a wonderful experience the whole way here, and being here at the festival has been great. It's just blessed.
So let me ask you this. For all the folks out in the world, like I'm a goddamn loudmouth, and I tell everyone, like, hey, you know, she's great. But don't take my word for it. Like, what would you say is, tell them some of your influences and some of the things that you're into and all that stuff. Like,
all right.
Where does this all come from, Miss Kay Marie?
Well, I was, my dad was born in 1943, and...
Me too.
And so he grew up with Elvis, and therefore raised me with Elvis and Buddy Holly and the Everly Brothers, and you know, they were all sort of built the foundation. And then from then I discovered Howlin' Wolf and Janis Martin and Johnny Burnett, and just dug deeper and deeper, and you know.
That's great. Well, now, how about you, Kevin? Man, you're a great player. So what's your background story? How did you get in all this?
I just started playing with my younger brother a couple years back, probably about 10 years ago, and then I met her, and the rest is history.
Well, she's worth getting good at the bass on, I would say,
yeah.
right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
very cool.
job easy.
So what else is coming up? You got some shows happening. We're gonna see you in Vegas next year.
Yeah, we'll be in Vegas playing Shorty Pool's pre-party.
I will be your MC.
Excited for that.
I promise to behave.
We're excited to see you.
I'm lying. I won't behave. I promise to keep my trousers on. How about that? Because that doesn't always happen, right, Shorty?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Cool, cool. And the record is out. People can get the record on the website. Do you have a website?
Yeah, kmariemusic.com, and we're on Facebook and Reverb Nation and all that good stuff.
So you guys have a new record you're working on?
Yes, yeah, we're recording a new one. We have a new CD all written. We're just gonna go record it in LA probably within the next month, and we have all the details all worked out. It should be coming out by the next year.
Killer.
So we're real excited for it.
Well, I'm excited too. I can't wait to hear.
Thank you, Steph.
And you also have a killer video, music video.
Yeah,
I love that. That was great.
Thank you.
With the camping thing and the
Yeah, we made that with Johnny B Films. He's fabulous, and yeah, we had a great time making it. And I guess I really think it showed in the video how much fun we had making it, and it's just a fun song and a fun video.
Well, it was fun to watch. You could tell you guys were having a good time. So that's it. Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely and talented Miss K. Marie and Kevin, you're going to see and hear a lot of this gal. She is the real deal, and we have the future right here. Right, Shorty Pool?
My name is Del Villarreal. I haven't introduced myself yet tonight. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, Ann Arbor. Close enough, I know, but I come from Michigan. I do 2 weekly radio shows on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. I do Go Cat Go, the Rockin' show, and you can hear them online for free. And please check me out. I have my own station called Motorbilly Radio, and if you tune in often, you'll hear some of this band's music quite often, which is pretty cool. So I think I want to turn things over now. We've got a special act here. The man we're going to introduce comes all the way from Sweden. Yes. Of course, he's the featured lead singer in Wildfire WIllie and the Ramblers. He's a fantastic force of nature on stage, too. I'm just kind of excited to see what's going to happen. And of course, a little later on, he's going to introduce a very, very special guest, which I'm sure you folks are very thrilled to see. So, without further ado, man, this is Jittery Jack's backup band featuring the fabulous Miss Amy. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Jan Svensson.
Man alive, what a weekend it was, the New England Shakeup. I can't say enough great things about this event. The gal Beck Rustick that puts it on, a true professional. It's such an organized, put-together weekender. The bands are fantastic. The venue's fantastic. There was a lot of Europeans this year. They loved it. They said they're going to spread the word. I anticipate this is going to be the biggest thing on the East Coast before you know it. It gets bigger and better every year, and I can't wait to see the lineup for next year. Beck, I hope I'm invited. Now, as I mentioned in the last episode, Mr. Gene Mailtais, the legend himself from New Hampshire, Wild Man, Raging Sea, Crazy Baby, Gang War, the list goes on, was going to be playing at the New England Shakeup. Well, not only did he play, we got to back him up, which was an honor for me. I've known Gene a long time, and there's never a dull moment when he's around, but I got to tell you, he really stepped up to the plate. The guy hadn't been on stage in 25 years, got up there, he killed it. He did the songs, the crowd was singing along. There were emotional moments, I'm not going to kid you. I might have had a tear in my eye, I don't know. But during his set, like I said, the crowd went nuts, but we got to do two things, not only back up Mr. Gene Mailtais, but we did it during another person's set, who's a person that I'm also a massive fan of, a cat called Mr. Jan Svensson, a.k.a. Wildfire WIllie. Jan's a guy that I've been a fan of for so many years. All his band, Wildfire WIllie and the Ramblers, the Highwinders, everything that guy does, he's authentic, a traditionalist, if you will, but he's a rock and roll party man, and we had a great time sitting down and chatting. I do have to throw out a disclaimer for you. There was some drinking that occurred before the interview, and if the camera seems a little unsteady, and I seem to be a little slurry, well, frankly, it's because I was half in the bag. But that happens when you hang out with Swedes. There's no way around it. Those guys party like Vikings, and he is no exception. So here we go, Mr. Wildfire WIllie. Let's check it out. Here we are with Jan Svensson, my favorite in the whole wide world, Mr. Wildfire WIllie himself.
Hey, I'm glad to be in your show. Should I call you Jittery Jack, or is it Kevin, or...
Just call me whatever you want. Just call me late for lunch.
Late for lunch. Okay, late for lunch. I'm glad to be in your TV show, and I understand this is the second episode. Is that
True
right?
story, yes. Tell me a little bit about how you discovered this music. How did you get into this thing? How did you become who you are?
Well, what happened was that a long time ago, back in 1972, I was 8 years old. They played Rock Around the Clock on radio, Bill Haley.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just liked it from the get-go. I think I was just about ready to go to school, and I heard it, and wow, you know. With Glenn Miller's, I'd heard swing music before that.
Okay.
Which I kind of liked. And then from swing to Bill Haley wasn't that big step.
Sure.
But then I started listening to rock and roll, Bill Haley, and I think, but I've been thinking about that. Why did I hear Rock Around the Clock in 1972? But then I found out it's pretty logical, because that year they had, for example, the big festival in London, the Wembley.
Bill Haley played, yeah.
Yeah, and Little Richard, Chuck Berry, everybody, all those guys, except Elvis didn't play, but just about, well, not Fats Domino, but just about the rest of them who were still alive played there. The big names.
When did you start playing? When did you start playing?
Well, I was a little bit later, because then I started listening to the rest of them. Chuck Berry, I heard Elvis, and then I can't remember the rest, but all the big ones. And then I started listening to the lesser known guys, and I started listening to blues, country, you know, Cajun, whatever, gospel, all the roots. And I think it was like I was 12 or something. This is a few years after, and I got my first guitar. I got my first guitar.
Guitar.
Yeah, but it was like a Spanish with nylon strings.
Sure.
And when you play that and you hear the old records,
doesn't sound the same.
It's not the same. So then you get a bit turned off, you know, of the sound, because you want it to sound like the records. I can't remember when, but then finally I got a Western guitar. I can't remember when, but yeah. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
So now the follow-up question is this. Okay. So, first band.
First band was Well, what happened was that, is that her again?
I'm asking you this because I want to know how Wildfire WIllie became Wildfire WIllie because
yeah, okay.
I'm your biggest fan, so I got to know how it happened. I'm going to emulate all your steps.
Emulate, okay. So I was playing with some guys just a little bit, but really very not seriously serious, and it was like I was an event. Oh yeah.
It's an event.
It's an event. well, I mean, everything took a long time because today you find everything on YouTube. I mean, on eBay, blah.
But back then you had to find the records and
everything took time. Where's a gig? Sometimes a gig. Oh, that was 3 weeks ago. Okay, everything just took time. It was hard to find things out, whatever. But somehow I went to this thing and I think I went up there, done 1 or 2 songs with a band, some guys I knew a little bit, and then this other trio was playing there, and the bass player was singing, and I guess I must have talked to the guys or something, and then was it 1 month after that or 1.5? I got a call from the bass player. He was like the spokesman of that band. He said, "Do you want to come and try to sing with us?" Okay, so I did.
And what band was that?
That was the embryo of Wildfire WIllie and the Ramblers.
So who was the bass player? Was it Anders?
No, a guy called Mika Savina.
But was Marco playing drums?
Yeah,
And was JJ on guitar?
You got it right.
And then the big bang happened.
Yeah.
JJ's one of my favorite guitar players. I love that cat, man.
He's still picking and, with me, and of course he plays some other acts too, but yeah.
It's magical,
Yeah, he's
what I like about what you do, what I always liked about what you do, is for me, here in America, we have the music here, and we listen to it and we do this and that, but you guys really studied it. Like you had it down pat. It was a big inspiration for us to not listen to the Stray Cats or not listen to any kind of neo thing. It was like these guys are making records and sounding just like the records we love. And it was such a big inspiration for us,
Well, thank you. But, I was never interested. It's like, for example, to go back to when I started listening, I heard Bill Haley and I heard Chuck Berry. And then I had heard of Elvis, but it was the Elvis with the jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Look, I'm talking about the first part of the 70s.
70s, yeah.
Elvis was still alive, active, and developing his act, and I was never interested in that. It's like I always liked the old movies, the black and white movies and stuff. I was never, and this thing with the jumpsuit, that never meant nothing to me. But then all of a sudden I heard the old recordings, the 50s recording, and then I became an Elvis fan, just like I was already a Chuck Berry and Bill Haley fan. Yeah, to go back to what we were talking about, I always listened to the old, the 50s recordings and stuff. I was never interested in what they were doing afterwards, because if you want to know the truth of the matter, I think whatever, if you have a painting of, let's say, Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
And then, Kevin, no offense, because you have a mustache, but if you paint the mustache on Mona Lisa, you are distorting something that is considered already perfect.
True story.
By, those who understand art. I would not call myself someone who understands art.
Maybe a bullshit artist.
Excuse me? But, if you have something perfect, you know, like "Come On Little Mama" with Ray Harris, or,
with Uncle Winky on guitar.
huh?
Uncle Winky on guitar.
Winky, I mean, why would you change that? I mean, what would you go up and do if you like that song? Go up and do "Come On Little Mama" and you do your own thing, like you've been listening to, I don't know, Eric Clapton or Brian Setzer or your neighbor practicing, you know. You know that, Kevin. You or Jittery Jack or Jerk Off Jack or whatever they call me, you know.
Wildfire WIllie, the man, the legend. We had a great time hanging out. Jan, thanks so much for being a guest on my show, letting me interview you, and thanks for letting me back you up. For me and Miss Amy and all the gang, we had a true great time playing with you, and I hope it sounded just like the record. I know that's important to you. But we had a ball, so thank you, pal. All right, moving right along, we're going to go to our high-tech Jittery Jack Vision module. A lot of folks actually asked me about this, and I have to say a big thank you to my pal Ross Majors, who's actually a toy maker by trade. He took this old 50s TV and kind of made it the wonder that it is, the Jittery Vision. So what I'd like to do is give it a little thump and a tap and see if we can get our next guest on the line. My next guest, a true queen of rockabilly music. I've known her a long time. She's been rocking since the 90s. Back with a vengeance these days, on tour. We were just out of a New England Shakeup with her. We thought about doing an in-person interview there, but, well, frankly, we had been drinking. And after watching the Jan interview, probably just as well we didn't. So she was gracious enough to agree to come online and meet with us. So with no further ado, let me see if I can get Miss Kim Lenz on the line. Are you there, Kim?
Yes, I am. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being on my TV show.
Well, thank you for having me.
You look lovely. It must be warm out there in California.
It's okay.
I don't want to hear okay. It's getting freezing here. we had snow flurries already.
It's California, you know. We have nice weather all the time.
I know. I love it out there. So we saw each other just a couple weeks back at the Shakeup. Did you have a good time?
Well, yeah.
I think I did too.
It was the end of like a 2-month tour, and so we had our show on Saturday, and so Sunday was like kind of cut loose day. It was fun.
Well, it was kind of funny because you and I talked all day. We were talking all day about getting together and doing an interview in person, and when we kind of
drank too much.
Yeah, when we kind of decided it was a good time to do it, I think we both looked at each other and were like, "No, this is a terrible time to do it." Yeah, which I have to tell you, I made the mistake of interviewing Wildfire WIllie after I thought I was going to interview you, and well, wait till you see that one because it's pretty intoxicated. You can only imagine. So.
But Jan is great when he's drunk. He pulls it off. I don't think I could have pulled it off.
He's a professional drunkard, I think, so he knows how to do it. Like a Viking, you know? That's it. So, yeah, so this whole episode is pretty much, we've been talking about the Shakeup and what a great time it was. So any advice for any fans out there that think they might want to go next year?
Well, Beck puts on a great show. She's an amazing woman, and she has a lot of attention to detail, I think, for people that are actual music lovers. The sound is great. The lighting is like old school, really great, you know, on the stage. It just feels like, you know, it's for the music. It's not for all the other stuff. Some of the weekenders are still great. They just get really big and they don't feel like they're about the music. It reminds me of like an early Vegas or an early Green Bay where you just go to see the bands and everyone just has a good time. And the other thing is the hotel's really cool because there's signs up all over saying like, you know, this is the New England Shakeup. We're not going to like respond to noise, you know.
Oh, yeah. I love it. Right when you walk in, I love that sign.
They're just like ready for everyone to just get crazy and all they're running around late at night and yelling. And I mean, it's kind of like, I don't even know what to compare it to, but it was fun.
Well, it was great to see you there. You put on a killer show. It was kick-ass.
Thank you.
So for all the fans out there, because I know, well, you and I both, we've known each other for quite some time, from back in the 90s, 50s.
Yeah, back when we were both like 5 back in the 50s.
Yeah, true story. Well, in the 90s we were 5, I mean. But give us, for those that haven't been paying as much attention as they should to the lovely Kim Lenz, I love how she's having a drink too. I'll join you.
Oh, it's beer 30 out here.
That's right. It's always that time. tell us a little bit about, for everyone that hasn't been keeping it, paying attention. Give us a little bit of a short, history of Kim Lenz and how you got to be the lovely and talented Kim Lenz you are today. Because I know you've been at this a long time. We've been crossing paths for, well, I won't say how many years now because we'll make ourselves look old, but
I don't know. It's always, I always feel like I'm just so lucky to get to do what I do, and it's kind of been accidental. I put together a band in Dallas just to play this place Bar Soap. Next thing I knew, I had to deal with High Tone Records, which was like the most amazing thing in the world back then, and they did a lot of press for me, and I traveled a lot, and then Nick joined the band, and so we spent a bunch of years back then doing like 200 shows a year on the road.
Well, Nick, we got to give props to Nick, of course, because Nick's from our neck of the woods, and I remember when I first started out playing with Amy, Nick and Amy were like the same age and from like the same neck of the woods, so there must have been something in the water up there back then, I guess, So I think I saw him with Ronnie Dawson first time ever, and he was like this young kid with a stray cat's tattoo.
That was his first one.
Hey, well, yeah, right, and he collected a few after that, I think.
A couple.
Just one or two.
I sure do miss him, and but I'm really glad I got to make a couple records with him and know him really well and spend a lot of time with him. And
great records, too.
It's been a few years now since he's died, so finally, I'm getting to be okay with it. So.
Yeah, no, it's a sad thing, but the legacy lives on. I mean, what a talent, And you were lucky enough to play with him. And those records are killer. The one and only, right?
Oh, yeah. And the last one he played on, It's All True, it's just like, that record is just like basically like a Nick solo record.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I'm on it, but it's just like, you couldn't contain him at that point anymore. He was like beyond containment. Not that you really would want to. But
true story. That's it. So what's new in the Kim Lenz world? What's going on? I know you just got off a big tour. You got some more touring planned, or what's going on?
Yeah, no, actually, I'm taking the fall and probably the spring mostly off. I'll be in February. I'll be in Austin for the Ameripolitan Music Awards.
Cool.
And I'll be and performing. That's a really cool event. If you want to go to Austin, check that out. But other than that, I'm working on a new record. Carl Sonny Leland is producing it again, and we already started working, and I've got this fabulous studio.
Yes, you do. I've been drooling over your mixing board in the back and admiring that over your shoulder.
Lucky, I got a movie placement, so I got a check. Like
that helps.
I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna spend this. I'm gonna buy a board.
What's a nice one? That's great. So, yeah. Well, I can't wait. Well, say hi to Carl for us, because I've known him for years, and he's not only a heck of a piano player. He played on the Second Raging Teens record, but he's a lovely guy, too. So tell him I say hello.
He's a genius.
Yeah. So what's up with those British guys coming over here and showing us how to do it, right?
I don't know. He's a great guy. I love working with him. I worked with him on the last record, and he just has a way of, like, when I write songs, he just helps me arrange them. He's just got so many great arrangement ideas, and like his brain is so crazy that way. I mean, not crazy, like crazy awesome,
Oh yeah, I remember when we recorded with him, I had sent him like a boombox demo of like the song. He came in, he's like, well, I had a feeling like a little intro. He played it. We just fell in and we played it. Deke recorded it, and he was like, well, I think that was pretty great. And we're like, well, let's just try it one more time, because we were just kind of blown away. And like, second take, done. He had basically just arranged it all on his own, and it couldn't have been any better than that, He's that kind of guy, talented.
Yeah, I just Carl out there doing more, but it's hard, you got to have a whole band to be traveling around with.
Yeah, it's tough,
He doesn't need else really, but I'm certainly happy to be working with him again.
Good for you. Well, we're planning some touring ourselves out in the spring, so maybe our paths will cross on the West Coast.
In the spring?
Yeah, we're gonna come out west in the springtime.
Come visit me.
Yeah, can we come say hi? Maybe come to a show?
Yes.
Good deal. I won't trick you with the Jameson wine again. We played in Vegas, and Kim came off stage. I was hanging backstage, I think, with Sugar Balls. I had a bottle of Jameson, and she was like, give me some of that, because I think you thought it was wine, and you took a big pull, and you were like, that's not wine. I was like, I'm from Boston. I don't drink that.
Don't do well on hard liquor.
Well, you did it like a champ. You wouldn't know from that moment, so. Well, I want to say a big thank you for being on my show. It's been great having you here. I'm jealous you're in Southern California and it's warm, because it's just going to get horrible here. You got in and out just in time, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was beautiful when we were there. Beautiful and just wonderful people. Had just the greatest time, and I hope to come back again.
Well, I'm sure Miss Beck will love to have you back sometime soon, and I'm sure you'll be back on the East Coast at some point, maybe next summer or something. Well, if not, we'll see you on the West Coast.
All right.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, Kim. Thanks for being on the show. Kim Lenz. Woo! Kim Lenz, ladies and gentlemen. She's a sweetheart, great gal, a lot of fun. And I don't care what other people say. I think her songs and her music and her singing are far better than her van. She'll get what I'm talking about. All right, folks, that's our show. Thanks so much for tuning in. I want to give you a little plug for what's coming up next month. We took a trip out to Seattle, spent some time in the recording studio with the fantastic Mr. Roy Kay, and we cut some tracks for the debut Miss Amy 45, which is coming out in Rockin' Records from Vancouver, Sean Law's label. She came up with a brand new killer instrumental, and we also did a cover of an old garage tune called Shifting Gears. This is all Miss Amy's doing. I was just there to help out and back her up. This is her debut, and I hope you dig it. We also did some playing out there at the Seattle's Rockabilly Ball with Marshall Scott Warner puts together with some fantastic bands. So I've got some footage from that coming up, footage in the studio. We also have a fantastic interview with a legendary cat. You may know him as the bass player for the Mighty Blue Kings or the Moondogs or the Four Charms. Lately, he's been slapping some bass for a fellow called Mr. J.D. McPherson. Mr. Jimmy Sutton will be on the show. We sat down recently in Boston when he came to town. Got a little interview together. We had a great time hanging out, so thanks, Jimmy, for that. And, of course, there'll be much more and many more surprise guests and lots of things happening. So we'll see you around the rockin' world. And as we say, if you can't be good, be great. Cheers, gang.